Good morning, everybody. My name is Deborah Carroll, and I am the Executive Administrator for DHS's Economic Security Administration. I'm really excited about the program today because we're going to be able to officially bless and launch the new DHS Family Resource Center and the new SNAP Employment and Training Program and the renovations that we've done today. So I am not going to spend a lot of time because I want to make sure that you have an opportunity to see and hear from all of the great people that were very instrumental in making this space available to us today. I think the one thing that I did want to say, though, is that our goal was to create very family-friendly environments for our customers and to make sure that there was a place that was not only safe for children to come, but also enriching for families as well. In addition, we wanted to make sure that we created environments for our individuals that are most vulnerable, that are unable to obtain work, to have a place that they can come and have access to computer resources and staffing that can help them to obtain jobs. This has been a commitment from the mayor from the very beginning of his administration, and bringing David Berns on board to help us to create this very unique vision. There were a lot of people that helped us get to where we are today, and I just want to be able to be here to thank them for making this day possible. So without further ado, I want to invite to the dais June Lockhart. She is the Deputy Director for Department of General Services. She's here on behalf of Brian Hanlon, who was very stalwart and very dedicated to making sure that we had our space delivered on time, and you know, had great partners to make this available to us. And so without further ado, I'm going to invite June Lockhart.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for being here. This is an exciting day. Again, I bring you greetings from Brian Hanlon, our director, who unfortunately could not be here today, but he sends his congratulations and his thank you for all of the different parties who brought this project to completion. When we were thinking about this, we were thinking about how fortunate DGS was to be able to work on so many different projects throughout the city. We just celebrated our 2-year anniversary on Tuesday, and you know, when we reflect, we have to thank our Mayor Vincent C. for his champion of DGS's vision. We are very lucky in the last several of the 2 years to be able to have delivered Dunbar High School, Cardozo, Raymond Recreation Center, just very recently the Metropolitan Police Tactical Village, and then projects like this, which you know, delivering office spaces to for you know, our district workers to be able to have a warm, safe environment to work, and for district residents to receive their services. And so we are just very, we have to really thank Mayor Gray for being able to do that for us. So again, you know, one of the major goals of this project was to make sure that the space was a warm and inviting, and I think that this tour today, you are going to see that. So. I also wanted to take a moment to thank the project team who worked on this. First, we'd like to really thank Lisa Franklin-Kelly and Bill Stewart from DHS, who worked very hard and collaborated with DGS and the project team, Ollie Sultan and Maurice Dunn from DGS on this project. We'd also like to thank Bell Architects, the architect of record for this, who worked on here, and then Consus, the general contractor. They did, I think, a fabulous job. And it was a very complicated project because there were several different swings involved. So this project kind of lasted, there was 3 phases to it. And the first phase was delivered in November, and the last phase was delivered in June. And through that process, there was several different groups that had to swing within the building, and logistically, it was challenging. So we do appreciate all of their hard work. And then finally, DGS, again, always strives to deliver quality projects on time and on budget, but we also recognize the economic inclusion goals that the city and the mayor, that we believe strongly in. And this particular project, there was 70% CBE dollars that went to this project, and there was 1 new district resident hire. So that was very successful. So again, thank you very much, and welcome to this new facility.
The next person I want to introduce is our director, David Berns. He has been our biggest champion and has been instrumental in making things happen for us. So I would like to bring up David Berns.
Good morning, everybody. You know, when the mayor took office and asked me to come in, one of the first things that I learned was that most of our social work or staff that was involved in working with families had been contracted out, and we only had about 9 staff that were actually interviewing and providing those kinds of support services in our TANF program. So we're here today not just to celebrate the opening of this fine facility, but more importantly, a place where we can have our staff and our customers coming in, and the mayor has allowed us not only to renovate the building, but to hire additional staff to work directly with clients, directly with them to do assessments. We've done over 17,000 assessments of our TANF recipients in the last year. And along with that, we've developed individualized plans with them, getting them connected with other employment opportunities. And it makes it so much nicer if we can do it in a facility like this. If you go and look around, you can see some interview cubicles that have glass partitions and a little bit better ability for some privacy and some professionalism. And as we develop, we've got staff from a variety of agencies that are here. We've got child support and in other agencies that are here working with us, a number of private individual or agencies that are partnering with us. Downstairs, we have our SNAP employment programs, and that's the food stamps program. But you always think just in terms of the cash benefits or the ability to buy food, but just for that population, it's also so important to help them be able to get jobs. And so we have some employment services, opportunities in ways to enhance those supports. The whole philosophy here has become much more family-centered. You know, not that we weren't family-centered before, but the structure was such that we were an eligibility agency. And if you come in, you got what you were eligible for, which wasn't necessarily what you needed. And so now the center is, what do you really need? And we have the professional staff and the facilities to be able to connect people with those supports that will actually not only get them welfare benefits, but get them jobs and supports so that they become economically self-sufficient and hopefully to escape poverty. We're very pleased. Thank you, Mayor, so much for all of your support in making this work. It's not a new building, but it feels like a new building, and we're just so proud to be able to serve our customers in this fine new place. So, thank you.
The next person I'm going to bring up represents what our ultimate goals are to begin with. Ms. Portia Fagans is one of our customers, and she's going to just share with the group what her experiences have been since we've come over into this new location and the new philosophy under our redesign. Ms. Fagans.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. The TANF redesign program helped me move forward with my career goals. During my assessment with Ms. Lewis, During my assessment with Ms. Lewis, we discussed my current and long-term goals. We also talked about different workforce programs that were available to me. I actually found out about this program through a friend who told me that I needed a referral. After making several phone calls, I finally got an appointment with the Family Resource Center, who took me immediately. When I walked into the facility, I was very pleased with the excellent customer service, and honestly, I was shocked. I felt like the workers were really there to help and that they enjoyed doing their jobs. One worker handed out free circus tickets to those who had been waiting for 10 minutes or longer. Although I didn't wait too long, I was still offered tickets. I'm thankful to have found the Family Resource Center, and I don't think they know how grateful I am for their help. I feel like Ms. Lewis was concerned about my situation, almost like I was having a conversation with a family member or close friend. Through this program, I have gained trust and hope that I can make progress. Until my son turned 1 year old, I enjoyed staying home with him, but soon began to panic about how he and I would both attend school. It was explained to me that from actively participating in the TANF redesign program, I wouldn't have any problems getting help with childcare. Ms. Lewis also gave me her number and told me to call her if I had any problems. My son has since been in daycare, and I have been a full-time nursing student at University District of Columbia. This program helped me motivate myself to achieve goals and to set even higher ones. I appreciate the Family Resource Center especially, since there are so many single moms who are judged for receiving assistance before given an opportunity. I left with a sense of purpose, motivation, and direction. I wrote this speech to give some positive feedback and to prove that there are still some individuals who will do what is right when given a fair chance. I most certainly am one of them. Thank you to the Family Resource Center for introducing me to Ms. Lewis, and thank you to the TANF redesign program. Thank you.
Finally, I want to bring up Vincent Gray, our mayor. He has been, I think, a game changer for the District of Columbia, for DHS in particular, and certainly for our TANF residents. Since he has been in office, he's added probably somewhere around $27 million to our budget, filled budget gaps when coming into FY14 that we didn't know where we were going to be able to serve the residents that we had. He has had and been very consistent in his support of low-income families in the district and making sure that they have what they need in order to be self-sufficient. So he's given us what we needed and the tools in order for us to succeed. And this is just a mere representation of the small things that have created big things for us here at DHS and in the district. So with that, I want to not only thank Mayor Grayer for his support, because I think that he's been able to help us to achieve our vision. We've got work to do. We're nowhere done finished, but this is certainly one step in the right direction, and thank you again.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Something doesn't feel right about some people in here and some people out there. I wish we could take the walls down, guys. Anyway, I'm delighted to be here. I want to thank Deborah for such a nice introduction. And also to Portia. Nice do, by the way. You look happy. You know what? And that's probably ultimately what all this comes down to, and that is, how do we help get people to another place in life so that they are able to enjoy happiness just like everybody else? I want to thank June and DGS. They did just celebrate their second anniversary Tuesday, I think it was. It was an auspicious day, too, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. But we're open. We're open. DGS has made an enormous contribution to our ability to organize our maintenance services and construction services, and just keeps getting things done over and over and over again, and really vindicates, I think, what we've been able to do to create a new agency and bring a lot of those agencies together. And I want to really thank David Berns. David, I knew what we wanted to do, but where in the heck were we going to find the right person to help bring the vision and the perseverance and the ability to work with people? And that's a rare person. I remember speaking to a gentleman who's a good friend by the name of Peter Edelman, whose wife, by the way, is Marion Wright Edelman, who we all know. And he said, I think we got just the right person in a man who I've known, respected, and that is David Berns. And I said, well, Peter, if you think so, that's enough for me. And frankly, as effusive as he was, David, and what talents you bring, you've exceeded those. And I really want to thank you for the work that you've done to help turn around the concept, the culture, frankly, in the District of Columbia of what it means to be supported. And that is hard to change, ladies and gentlemen. That is hard to change. You can change buildings and the shape of them. You can change programs. But how do you change a mindset that says, you know, my goal shouldn't be just to figure out how I get my checks and my food stamps every month. It should be to figure out how I can work with government resources to be able to get on my feet and do something different. And that is exactly the transformation that is taking place here. And the leadership that has been provided to get us there is just absolutely phenomenal. You know, I was looking at the poster on the wall, and one of the things that we changed was, and it's such a fundamental change, you know, it wasn't just semantics, and that is that right there. We went from being the Income Maintenance Administration to being the Economic Security Administration. And there are those who would probably see it as a change in words, and there are others who would see it as a change in mindset. A change from, let me figure out how to pick up my check, let me figure out how I get old enough to be able to qualify, to how do I figure out how to use the government's resources to be able to get to another place, because I don't want to be on the public dole for all my life. I want to be somebody who can support myself, just like Portia just told us, and there's so many other people who have the same view. And I don't want my child to be in the same situation, so that as she grows up and has children, what she has to look forward is, how do I figure out how to qualify for TANF? That day is over with, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you all, you in here, the folks out there, for helping us change a mindset in the District of Columbia that says we are not going to be the welfare capital of the world, because we don't have to be. We have people who really want to have a different way of life, people who have the skills and talents, people who want to see their children grow up, go through early childhood education, go to school, get an education, and be able to be on their own. That is a fundamental shift. And when you see 16,000 behind me, and as David said and Deborah said, 17,000 assessments, that's 17,000 tickets to a new way of life. And that is truly exciting. I am so excited. For some of you who don't know, I really am. I really am. It actually is working, ladies and gentlemen. We have gotten to that place. And, you know, we can laugh or do whatever we want to, but boy, this is a high five moment. In fact, it's not only high five, this is high 10. So to be able to come today and be a part of this is really an uplifting moment. To be able to see that we're helping people turn the corner. You know, welfare reform, if that's what we want to call it, became the law of the land, I think, in 1996. And I remember all the angst and whatnot. And there were people who came along and said, you know what? We figured out how to keep the District of Columbia from having to be, you know, having to comply with this. We're going to put our own money into keeping welfare going into the District of Columbia. Isn't that exciting? What we should have done is what others did, and that is to figure out how we use that opportunity to create a new way of life for our folks, and that is exactly what's happening. You know, it was wonderful to hear you talk about child care, early childhood education, because that is such an answer also. For those of you who don't know, we have the most robust early childhood education program now in America, and for her to say routinely, you know, my child is being taken care of every day, you can't go everywhere and get that. We have 92% of our 4-year-olds in school. We have 70% of our 3-year-olds in school. And you know what's going to happen? It just seems fundamental to me. Those kids are going to get an early start, a head start, or, you know, big start, whatever kind of start you want to call it, okay? And there's going to be an expectation that they will learn because they are good enough to learn. There is no point that is too early to teach children. And what they're doing also, when we can get them in the school, they're enabling their parents, just like Portia, to be able to have a chance to go on. She's going to become a nurse. I don't have any doubt about it, okay?
Yes, she is.
I tell you what, if you walked in my room, I'd be happy to see you. So, I would, I'm not kidding. In any event, it really is an exciting day. And if I sound energized, if I sound enthusiastic, if I sound effusive, and all those good words, that is exactly what I am, because I've spent most of my life actually working in social services, and always wanted to see what I did and the resources that we had to be able to be invested in giving people a different way of life, to be able to make the investment so that when they finished whatever they finished, they were better for it. Not that we sustained them in income maintenance, that we have given them the lift that they need to become economically secure. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Mayor Gray. Okay, so as part of the closeout, we are going to officially cut the ribbon, dedicating the new Family Resource Center space. While they're getting ready, I just wanted to shout out to our staff here at the Family Resource Center. When we first started, as David said, we had about 10 staff dedicated towards the program. We actually repurposed our staff from the Job Club. Beyond the Job Club, which was used for pre-eligibility determinations, there were no services for individuals until they got referred to a contractor. Well, there's no way you can really plan for that. And it was because of the mayor's vision and because of Director Berns that we've been able to get the resources in place to ensure that we had enough people to serve our residents. So I just want to thank all of the staff from the Office of Work Opportunity and those over at the Virginia Williams Resource Center, and to the mayor and Director Berns as well for making sure that we had not only a beautiful space, but also the people to make all of these changes happen.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's under a bridge.
That's right. And you can see everything.
I want to acknowledge that we've been joined by our council member at large, Anita Berns, who is somebody I've worked with for a long time, and I'm delighted to see her here because I know how much she cares about these issues. And what we were talking about earlier, council member, is that this really is creating a new way of life. And you know, David Berns, our director, Deborah Carroll, who's the director of ESA rather than IMA. And a lot of people don't realize that we changed the name of the administration from income maintenance to economic security, which conceptually takes you from here over to here.
Yeah.
It says, we heard from Portia also, who has gone through, I'll say the program, but she's also now in a nursing program at UDC, and her child is in early childhood education, and really represents a lot of the future that we're trying to create, help people create for themselves. So if you'd like to say a couple words, we'd be happy to hear from you.
Well, I'm delighted that I got here in time. I have a problem with my internet, and so one of my email accounts I can't access, but occasionally, and I saw it on the schedule because the mayor is kind enough to let us know, other officials in the city, what he's doing. And I saw it and I said, oh my goodness, I really want to go over, because I do care very much about how we are trying to make a difference in the lives of all of the people in the District of Columbia. And I know that this is where his heart is, and I wanted to be here to be supportive, and especially to say to anyone who is here for the benefits, for the services, that this is a good deal and we're working with you. And where we come up with extra money, the extra money will go to the citizens of the District of Columbia, and particularly those in need. So, thank you very much.
And by the way, council members, they have now conducted 17,000 assessments, which I don't think anybody thought we'd ever get there.
No.
And they have done it in an incredibly timely fashion. In fact, if you see the poster, it was 8,000, then it went to 16,000, and between that time and now, it's gone to 17,000.
All right.
And that's
Very good.
that's virtually everybody, right?
Congratulations.
Yes.
Yes, that's
And we're
great.
doing all new people coming through the door.
That's great, that's great. I was watching the hearing with my chairman of the committee, Jim Graham, and I remember him saying, remember that we are close to Mississippi. And so I happen to have had the statistics, and we're not anywhere near Mississippi because, you know, what we were talking about is a family of 3 and the amount of resources that they have available plus food stamps. So I checked it to see if we were near New York, which is at the top. We're not there yet.
No.
But we can get there because the cost of living in the District of Columbia is similar. But more than that, we like the idea of the assessments because it gives people an opportunity for dignity to move forward and to move out of having to visit the resource center, so to speak. So we're happy with what you're trying to accomplish.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And along with every assessment is an individualized plan for every one of those
That's right.
people. Yes.
That's right, yeah. So thank you, Mayor.
You're always
Thank
welcome.
you very much.